Hey again, it's Debbie from Buckeye Homestead, and today we're doing a more heart healthy recipe. About a month ago, my husband had a heart attack, and we've really changed the way we've eaten. It's been a learning experience to learn like what kind of stuff has been affecting our cholesterol. And I even had my cholesterol tested and it was pretty high. So we've really done our best to try to lower it by eliminating certain foods and introducing foods. But today I'm doing a egg roll in a bowl. And basically it is just kind of like an unassembled egg roll. And I'm going to serve mine over rice. You don't have to have it served over anything, but it is really good over rice. But right now I am frying up a pound of lean turkey, and my turkey is 85/15. I don't like to go any leaner than that because I feel like it loses a lot of its flavor. But also in here I have about 4 green onions and about a tablespoon of garlic, and I grated a little bit of ginger. I think I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Ginger, I would say there's probably a teaspoon. I would say that's probably to taste also. We don't mind it. I mean, it does get a little bit more stronger when the more you put in it. But I'm going to brown this up. So normally this is made with hamburger, but because we're trying to stay away from beef, so that's the one thing that we are eliminating from our diet is beef, red meat. We haven't had it yet, but this is still browning up. And it is making quite a bit of liquid. And I don't think this is fat. I think it's just liquid from the onions. The onions came from my garden. I have Egyptian walking onions, which if anybody out there has those, knows that you will have onions forever and ever and ever with these things because they don't stop. They produce little babies on the tips of their stalk, and then those fall off and then they grow. Well, the problem is I have a raised bed and they will fall into the gravel and they'll start growing in the gravel, or they fall into the strawberry patch and they grow in there. So they've fallen in the grass, they start growing there. I've even have scooped up ones that I have dug out and thrown into the compost bin, and now I've got them growing in my compost. So they will grow everywhere. So the nice thing is you have an endless amount of green onions. I don't like them much past the green onion stage. They get kind of very pungent and they're really tough. So once they get to that stage, then I just use them to make babies. So after that, it don't matter. Alright, I don't think I'm going to drain this off. So I'm going to add a half a bag of slaw mix. Of course you could use, I would say this is probably like a half a head of cabbage. And then a little bit of carrots in there. We made coleslaw for our fish tacos yesterday. And then this was what was left over. So I'm going to add that. And I'm also going to add a little bit of sesame oil, which is also okay and good for a heart-healthy diet. So probably like a tablespoon of sesame oil. And we're just going to let this cook. So I think the key to being successful, changing your lifestyle, is to always make sure that you're creative with your foods and that you always have good alternatives to your favorites. So far, we've replaced turkey with our meat, ground beef with turkey, and we have had pretty good success. If you look at some of my other videos, I have a video on making Taco Bell meat for tacos, and that works great with ground turkey. What else have I used it for? Spaghetti and meatballs. The meatballs that I made, I just made it with turkey. Fantastic. Once they were in the sauce and everything, we couldn't even tell a difference. So So that's what I'm finding with my husband is as long as I give him options and they're tasty, then we're going to be successful. Now, depending on how crispy you like your vegetables, some people will stop at this point and serve it this way. I like to cook mine down just a little bit. I don't like the crunch as much, but I am going to add some soy sauce. This will kind of give the flavor. I would say a tablespoon, and then I will of course taste it. So I'm cooking on a medium, and I noticed that I still have quite a bit of liquid in here. So I'm hoping that within the next couple minutes it's going to evaporate some of that water. We've also switched to brown rice instead, or whole wheat rice. And our pasta we've all switched. So for those of you who say, you know, I can't do brown rice or whole wheat pasta because of the texture, I have found that if you cook it longer, it will mimic the regular white flour a little bit better. I've even had my husband, who is a critic on everything, say he couldn't even tell that it was a whole wheat. So if you're trying to change your diet and you're like reluctant to switch to the whole wheat varieties, just cook it a little bit longer than the package says, and it'll start getting a little bit softer. I found that with the rice. So right now I'm cooking my rice in my pressure cooker. It's really the only way that I can do it successfully now. So the one day I got home late from work and my husband beat me, and he said, do you want me to fix anything else? And I said, can you throw on some brown rice? And he's like, well, you're using the pressure cooker for something else. And he says, how do I cook it on the stove? And I said, I have no idea. So if you've never done your rice in a rice cooker, in a pressure cooker, I would highly recommend it because it is so easy. It's one of those things that you put it in and you forget. You can just go on and do, because like right now it's done. I found the best for brown rice, the best ratio is 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. And I'll show you when I open it up kind of how it looks. And it is starting to get to the consistency I like. Alright, so the onions, the carrots, the cabbage have all cooked down. And then let's go look at, so for this cooker, I have found that 20 minutes works really well for rice. Okay, so if we look here, all the liquid has drained and perfect consistency for rice. Alright, so I will take that rice and I will put it in a bowl, and then I'll plop the egg roll concoction in there, and then I will take some sesame seeds and kind of sprinkle on the top. And my husband might add a little bit more sesame or soy sauce, I'm sorry, but it's a meal and it's done, and it's not too bad for your heart, as best as we can do at this point. So I really hope that you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you'll follow me for more heart healthy recipes. And you guys have a great day. Goodbye.